Hey YouTube, it's Magician34 and I've come to you with my new format plant deck. It's really cool, it's a lot of fun. We'll get right into it. I'm opening it with one of my favorite plant suites of all time, which is Cherry and Mado. We're running 3 of that. When it dies, it gets you any 2 Mado monsters, and that does include other Cherry and Mados. And you can get any combination of them, which is really cool. You just can't use them to sync the turn the effect goes off. That's the only restriction. And also we're running 2 Inmados because you can go for a Cherry Inmado and an Inmado, or you can even get double Inmados, and that's a rank 3 right there. So, food for thought there. The rest of the standard plant suite, we're running 1 Lone Fire Blossom because they won't let us run more than one. We're running 1 Dandelion. And we're running 1 Spore because it came back off the ban list, which is good times, not broken, just fair. Didn't deserve to be on there before, but that's, water under the bridge or whatever. We're also running 2 copies of Card Trooper. This lets us mill our all-important plants into the yard, gets us chaos materials for BLS. Just an all-around great card for the build. He also gives you a little early game muscle. We're also running 2 copies of Snowman Eater. A lot of things in the format just kind of bounce off of him, especially as a turn 1 set, and he gives you the benefit of killing one of their monsters. He's also a good target for Debris Dragon. Speaking of which, we run 2 copies of Debris Dragon. Obviously, you can abuse Dandelion with this, but Snowman Eater and a couple other cards are also good targets for this and lets you get an easy synchro. We're also running 2 copies of Tour Guide to the Underworld. That should be fairly self-explanatory. Also helps you get Leviair, which you can abuse a little bit. We're running Sangan as an easy target for that. That's an out to Lone Fire Blossom too. And Night Assailant is our other target for Tour Guide from the Underworld, of course. Plus, you can also set him, flip him, pop stuff, so on and so forth. He's also a good target for Debris because he's got a real low attack. We're running 1 copy of Tsukuyomi. This deck does run creature swap, and he's excellent with swap, as are a bunch of the things in the deck, and that's why they're here. But he also works really well with Snowman Eater, obviously, because you can flip your Snowman Eater back face down for another go. Snowman Eater quite frequently survives the attack. We're also running 2 copies of Caius the Shadow Monarch. We got a lot of ways to get a monster on the field, enough that you want to run this guy. 3 I found is just a little too much. You draw those multiple copies in your hand and you're kind of staring at them while you're trying to get a monster to stay on the field. But we definitely do want the 2 so that we can take advantage of his awesome effect and kind of punch through stuff. We've also got 1 copy of Blackluster Soldier. Obviously, we have enough light and dark to support him. There are a few more monsters still coming. So he's kind of a no-brainer. And obviously, sinking and Ix-seizing is a good way to get lights in the grave, too. We have Gorz, Emissary of Darkness. Just because we run a very, very light back row lineup. So this guy's easy to get out, and he's just an amazing card still. Always has been. And we run 2 copies of Effect Veiler just to kind of help us keep control on the opponent, obviously. With lesser back row presence, we need the Veilers to kind of keep the opponent at our pace. Alright, spell-wise, first off, we're running 3 creature swaps. Obviously, Cherry and Mado, Dandelion, I mean, just a ton of targets that you want to swap to your opponent. Your Spirit Monster Tsukuyomi, Sangan, a lot of things. And you also have a lot of small monsters, so even if, say, your tour guide gets Veilered, you can still creature swap it to your opponent and turn a profit, essentially. So 3 swaps. It's an amazing card. It really is. We're also running Monster Reborn, kind of a no-brainer. Dark Hole, also kind of a no-brainer control card. Pot of Avarice, there's lots of ways you can stuff your grave and really profit from Pot of Avarice. This is one of those decks where you can, putting just regular monsters from your main deck back into your main deck is cool with Pot of Avarice, like your Inmados. But you can also put back a lot of your Synchros and Ix-seizes for a second run and profit that way too. So Pot of Avarice is just a real winner of a card in this deck. We have a fair number of tuners and lots of level 4 and under, so Mind Control can easily steal and Ix-seize and sync and whatnot in this deck, so it's a real obvious choice. We're also running 1 copy of Mark of the Rose, just 1, but it is a very good stealing card, and you can also attack with the thing you steal, which is a plus. But also, of course, you can use it for sinking and Ix-seizing and whatnot. We run Scapegoat. This is just a great card for the deck all around. It's good for sinking, for Ix-seizing, for stalling your opponent. It's a good back row bluff. Just good all the way around. Once again, just another great card. We run 1 copy of Heavy Storm because we do not like our opponent's back rows in this deck. We like for our tricks and combos to go off and not get solemned. For that reason, we're also running 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. This deck likes for your plays to go through. Back rows are one of the prime ways your opponent can interfere, so we're running some pretty heavy back row hate. Our last card of back row hate is Malevolent Catastrophe. Yeah, that's right, we're running one copy of Malevolent Catastrophe. It's not necessarily the best set early in the game. You kind of set something else, even if it's MST, and wait until your opponent gets those 2 back rows, and you set this, and they attack pretty much fearlessly. The more they play and summon, and the less this goes off, the more they think this is a set MST again. And with so few back rows in your deck, they will not expect it to be anything threatening. And you easily flip this to generate, +1, maybe even +2 if you're lucky. Real solid card. And once they see 1 in your deck, they're forever going to be afraid of it, thinking there are more copies. And our only other trap is we're running 2 copies of Call of the Haunted, just 2. We got a plethora of things that we really like to revive with this: Dandelion, Card Trooper, Sangan, not to mention sinking and Ix-seizing materials again. And we have Catastrophe and Storm and whatnot to clean this off the field so it won't get in the way of Gores or anything. So that's the main deck. And our extra deck right quick, we're running 1 copy of Stardust Dragon, 1 copy of Scrap Dragon, 1 copy of Dark End Dragon, because remember, our tuners and a lot of our other monsters are all dark. We also have Void Ogre Dragon. We have Black Rose Dragon, lots of dragons for debris, obviously. Gungnir, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, because this is just debris to go get your Snowman Eater, and that's an easy Gungnir. We have Splendid Rose as one of our level 6s. Because we got those plants in the grave, you can really abuse her effect, get in some heavy damage, clean off a lot of small monsters if you need to. She's very flexible, so she's a good choice. There's also Iron Chain Dragon, our 6-star dragon. Ally of Justice Cataster. Magical Android, so we can put that light in the grave if we need to. Formula Synchron, because this is a goat token with a 1-star tuner, obviously. Maystroke, the Symphony Djinn. I was thinking of running Utopia to give me a little bit more access to light attributes, but realistically, Maystroke's pretty much just a better card for the most part, and this deck could really profit from his ability too, so we're running him over Utopia. We're running Wind-Up Zenmaines, just 1. Levier the Sea Dragon. And last but not least, we're running Gachi Gachi Gentetsu, because Charian Meadow to go get 2 other Charian Meadows is at least Gachi Gachi, which can be a good stall. So there you go, that's my new plant deck for the new format. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more cool gaming content.